Hi. Good afternoon, because it's after 12 here, I guess. Let me make this a little better. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I'm Lana, and well, little confession time. I set up this stream at like 10 o'clock this morning, and then sat in front of my computer for 2 hours. I was stuck. Super stuck. Very, very extra stuck. And I had my Illustrator set up. I knew what I wanted to do, but I just couldn't do it. I tried all the things that normally I would do. I got water. I took medication. I had a salad for lunch, so I didn't have any carbs to, get me all sleepy. I took a walk, took a shower. None of them worked. I was still stuck. So I asked ChatGPT for some suggestions, and it gave me a really good one that actually ended up working because I'm here. So that is how I'm going to start. I can share with you a little bit about how I've been working with AI in helping me to create Count Tracula, as well as actually work through a feature that might be helpful, because it's helpful to me and it makes sense. So anyways, so when I asked help, what can I do? I'm stuck. I have my own Alana folder within ChatGPT, and I put a lot of my ADHD ideas where I'm stuck, when I need help, or things that I find work for me, and I kind of keep them collected. And then I have a separate Count Tracula folder because I don't want them to kind of mix and it be too much just all Alana. And that is helping me with how to organize my ideas better, different user flows. And it does help me really well with getting the thematic pieces together, because there's 4 different themes, so that gets a little bit difficult sometimes to think of, because I have to think of every single item 4 different times in 4 different ways. But anyways, back to the point. I looked up what to do, and it gave me a 17-minute reset idea. Now, it gave me a whole bunch of others, but of course, my brain sees 17 minutes, and I'm like, why 17 minutes? Why not 18 minutes? Why not 14 minutes? I don't know. And it was just kind of to set a timer for 17 minutes, sit quietly, and reset. And so I asked it why, and I will explain what it told me. It says, your brain works best with short cycles of focus and rest. 17 minutes helps to reset your dopamine levels. Why 17 minutes? Because 15 minutes or 20 minutes could be construed as commitment. And the odd number 17 tickles your brain, pretty much. Here, I'll go back to it. Exactly what it said. Because then I asked it for a summary so that I could put it in my other one. But we'll read this one really quick, if it comes up. Wake up. Aha. Apparently, it says it is a neural hijack number, long enough to shift your internal state, short enough that your ADHD brain doesn't reject it. Here's why it works. 20 minutes feels like commitment. 15 minutes is cliche and often ignored. 17 feels oddly specific, and your brain is like, maybe there's a reason. I'll try it. It sneaks past perfectionism and internal pushback. And then studies around productivity, meditation, and emotion regulation show that it takes 10 to 20 minutes to downregulate from stress. I was super stressed because I couldn't do anything. I was frozen. A 17-minute window is often just enough time to transition from panic to calm, freeze to gentle motion, doom scroll to soft reset. So this made sense. And of course, because no one should trust AI only, I did look it up, and there is this guy, Andrew Huberman, who is a neuroscientist, it says, and he has a section on it in his website, and he has YouTube videos, and it says that a 17-minute practice can improve your focus permanently by reducing the number of attentional blinks you experience in daily life. The skill can help those struggling with ADHD as well as offset age-related mental decline. And in addition to this, which now seems like there's something actual behind it instead of just ChatGPT making something up because it knows what I would like, I went down and I read there's 3,439 comments. And people have all commented that combat veterans, people with youth coach, people doing meditation. It seems like a very well-reviewed process. So I think that that would be something that could really help other people, because it gave me a little bit of calm, a little bit of time, and actually helped me to de-stress and come here and talk to you guys. So I think it's something that I should add. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have my Figma up, which I know I was going to be working in vector, but it is progress, not perfection. And I want to kind of set up maybe like a little user flow for the 17-minute reset. So I have a little key that I made. And yeah, I'm going to just start laying it out, and you can hang out with me while I do. So the start would be somewhere. Not like this one. So maybe a trigger for this would be the user has checked in for the day and has a low be one trigger. Maybe another one that makes sense is if a user has selected a task and pause a set determined period time, let's say 20 minutes, followed by abandoning task or snooze it. That makes a bit of sense. So let's say I select clean my room or clean my desk, and I just don't do it. And instead of abandoning, the companion asks deck/frozen. No, just be So I changed this. The user checked in for the day and has a low spoon energy level paired with a high stress level. So at the very beginning, every day you're going to be asked where you're at. So you will get, I'm thinking there'll be sliders 1 through 5, and it'll be your spoon levels, so 1 through 5, and that'll kind of help to have the back end process pick out the different types of tasks that you could easily accomplish. And then I also wanted to do different factors that could change the types of tasks for you. So I wanted to do a stress level. So if you have low spoons and you're highly stressed, you're probably going to be frozen, you're stuck. If you have low stress but low spoons, maybe we could push you a little bit and do an optional extra task. Another thing I wanted to do was your social battery levels. That way we could push tasks that require other people or for the user to go out and interact. Sometimes you are super motivated but you don't want to talk to people, or you're not particularly adverse to talking to people, and maybe that's the day you get your shopping done, or you get that phone call to cancel your gym membership or something like that requires you to interact. So I think that will be a good trigger. The companion will ask, sorry, you're watching me work through these like kind of in real time. So, and then if the answer is yes, so I think what would actually be more helpful to start is, would you like to try to swap this task to another one? Because sometimes a diversion will work. I know for me, maybe I'm stuck with one thing and I could empty the dishwasher though. So then it'll offer to swap something basically of equal or lesser spoon value. And then that's also a choice. That's a good idea. I should share this on LinkedIn so that all of my 0 people could watch it. Get shareable link. See, look, ADD right there. Complete. Well, look at me. I'm all being social. See, my social battery is not at 0. Any hooters. So, I don't know who that is. Do I know who that is? Nope. Sorry, phone ring. So, companion asks if you are stuck or frozen. you say yes. Out. Would you like to swap this task for another one? So if your step frozen, you say yes. Would you like to swap? No. Then you end that flow. If you say no, maybe not. Well, that is right. No would technically end it. However, I am breaking these apart. That way I have the ability to kind of branch it a little bit more. So if you have a low spoon, and a high, you go to 17-minute reset. And if you've been working on a task for 20 minutes, and you follow that action by abandoning it or snoozing it, Don't mind me. I'm just working through my things. Actually, I don't even think we need that. So, user has those spoons. They selected a task, paused it. I don't know, 20 minutes is too long, too short. I'll worry about that later. Then they have followed it by abandoning the task or snoozing. And then they enter the frozen loop. Are you stuck or are you frozen? The answer is no. Maybe they got a phone call or something else. They're just not needing help. The answer is yes. Would you like to swap this task for another one? I was right. I'm not gonna. They will suggest a 17. That way they have less of a chance of saying no. And companion will suggest it. So here, would you like to swap the task for another one? If you say no, but you have indicated that you are frozen, then it would suggest a 17-minute reset. Let's make everybody polite. No, thank you. I always like to know why I'm doing things, so I would definitely ask why. If I say yes, please, then user is presented with a 17-minute timer. Along with 3 instructions on meditation / resetting / calming thoughts. So user is presented with a 17-minute timer, brief meditation, along with animation of the companion, a resting meditative state. Yeah, that's how you spell it. Now this might be a stupid question, but maybe it's something I can look into later. But it's just a thought I have, because I don't like it when timers count down, because then I'm like, oh my god, I only got 5 minutes left, I got 4 minutes left, I got 3 minutes left. It's kind of stressful. Is there any research on if you have a timer that counts forward as backward? Now, yeah, of course, this might be really dumb, but I think, in my mind at least, feel like it's, look at how far I've come. I've done 10 minutes so far instead of, I don't know, feels more positive to me, but that's why I'll check and see. And if I'm just being an idiot, then I won't do it. So they get presented with a timer, brief instructions, their cute little dad does cute little dad stuff. We are going to center these, make sure these lines are nice and straight. So the timer ends the 17-minute reset. There's definitely user is rewarded and congratulated on the achievement. Thank God for spell check. the user is returned to their task. Companion. Does that make sense? See, but my question here is, okay, hear me out. Do I want to actually give them the option of swapping out after that point? Because this is a lot of decision making. You just came back from a reset. I say prompt, let's get this task. No, it's not giving me an option. It's finished. And we are something motivating. Alright, so I think this makes sense. I do think, however, there's a better way that I could revisualize this. There we go. All right. Wow. It's already been an hour? Huh. Okay. Well, anyways, this is pretty cool. So now you see my thought process and how I got here. Yep, that's pretty much it. I'll come back in a little while, I guess, and work on what I'm supposed to work on in Illustrator. But first, I'm going to take a break because it's been an hour. And that sounds like a good idea. Anyways, thank you for body doubling with me and watching me go through brain freeze, but without ice cream. Bye.